Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm your host, Peter Chaplock. You're listening to another episode of History Short. Thank you for tuning in for a few minutes each day and allow me to tell story. If you haven't done so, make sure to click the subscribe button. If you like this show, spread the word to your friend. If you'd like to support the work that goes into creating the History Short, you can always do so by joining our Patreon account for as little as $1 a month at Patreon. Oh, also, while a side note, I wanted you guys to know that I'm in the process of going back and changing out the loud intro and outro music from all 2024 episodes. That might take a while, but I just wanted you to know I'm doing it. Haven't settled down. Among the horrors of Nazi death camps, particularly SMR infamous of the wall. Auschwitz lay many amazing stories of survival and resistance, some known and some not so much. But Taylor Herschel Harry Hop, who was forced to box fellow inmates to survive, is a harrowing testament to human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome. Here is the rest of their story. Yesterday, December 7, Herschel known later as the Harry Hebb, was born on July 28, 1925, in a small Polish town of Belhautu, a place with a modest but vibrant Jewish community. His family was not wealthy, but they find meaning and solace in the tradition, religion, and one another. This peaceful coexistence was shattered in December of 1939 when Nazi Germany invaded Poland, triggering the onset of World War II. The Blitzkrieg overwhelmed the Polish defenses and soon Bahut fell under the German occupation. The Nazis swiftly implemented their policy of persecution targeting Jews and Jewish communities with brutal efficiency. Harsher, only 14 at the time, witnessed this systematic demasking of his work. By 1941, as the Holocaust intensified, Nazis began deporting Jews from Belhaupt. Harsher's family was torn apart during one of these then to their death in an extermination camp where Harsher, now 16 years old, was deemed fit for labor and separated from his loved one. Harsher was transported to various labor and concentration, backbreaking work, malnutrition, and the constant ruin death. Eventually, he was sent to Auschwitz, the largest and most infamous of Nazi death camps. At Auschwitz, life was a nightmare of relentless brutality. Prisoners were stripped of their humanity, banned doing numbers and forced in grim existence where survival often hinged on sheer love or the arbitrary whims of the captors. In Auschwitz, Harsher witnessed horrors in the unemployed restaurant. The gas chamber loomed as a constant reminder of the camp's purpose, namely mass extermination. The relentless hunger, desert, and psychological torment took their toll on every prisoner. Yeah, in this unrelenting hellscape of Auschwitz, Herschel had physical strength and useful vigor made him stand out, a dangerous asset in a place where survival often depended on blending into the background. Nazi guards always looking for ways to entertain themselves and assert power over their prisoners. So in a half the potential fighter for their next game. What followed was a horrifying chapter in Hop's life. Forced participation in life or death boxing matches against other prisoners. The matches were brutal and dehumanizing spectacle, staged fury for the guards' amusement. Prisoners were deep into making rings were pitted against one another in front of jeering audience of SS officers. The stakes were unspeakably high; losing them meant execution, whether by direct punishment or by being sent to the gas chamber. Winning while sparing the victor's life, temporarily at least, came to a great moral and emotional cost. In Auschwitz, you didn't fight for pride of honor, have later recalled. You fought because losing wasn't an option. Hobbs' first fight was a harrowing experience. Weak from starvation and reeling from the trauma at camp, he faced a fellow prisoner in a fight he did not want to win, but he knew he could not afford to lose. Hebb continued to emerge victorious, however, fight after fight. But the cost of immediate and profound. He has survived by contributing in the suffering of another prisoner. You live with it, the guilt, half the riddle. It was him or me. Over time, Hop's survivor instincts took over, and he became the skilled and prosperous fighter. He fought dozens of matches, earning the nickname the Boxer of Auschwitz. His success in the ring immersed the Nazi guards. They saw him as a source of ongoing entertainment. This earned him temporary protection from the constant threat of execution or transport to even harsher labor conditions. Yeah, this protection was precarious and came at a steep emotional price. Each victory deepened the psychological scars and how to was forced to reconcile his action with his would have survived. I hated every second of it, he later said. But I knew if I stopped, I was dead. The matches also exposed Hop to physical danger. The fights were violent and often left participants and battered and bloodied. Hop's body bore the marks and the counter. For the guard, it was my cup game. For Hop, it was a daily struggle to clinging to life. This fight too hard, after beginning to endure, become a testament to an unyielding will. It wasn't about right or wrong. It wasn't about staying alive another day. By January 1945, the tide of World War II were turned against Nazi Germany, and the advancing Soviet forces were closing in on Auschwitz. The Nazis, desperate to conceal the extent of their began evacuating have were forced into brutal death marches in the dead of winter. Starved, freezing, and physically broken, they were made of trudge for miles under the watchful eye of armed guards. Many succumbed to exposure or execution along the way. They had to transport to other camps during this evacuation. They seized upon the chaos, planned escape. The opportunity finally occurred during a march to yet another facility. The prisoners were guarded, but the Nazi forces were stretched thin. The organization under the pressure of Allied advances. One fateful day, Haupt found himself marching alongside a Nazi officer who had become separated from the main group. Spotting an opening, Haupt attacked, summoning every ounce of strength and determination he had left. In a desperate call, he overpowered the officer, killing him and taking him uniform. It was a audacious move, one from in the rest, but Haupt knew that blending as a Nazi soldier was the best chance of evading capture. Dressed in a stolen uniform, Hap began a new phase of his journey freedom. He moved carefully, navigating enemy lines and avoiding skirting. The uniform provided invaluable protection. This and each interaction carried a risky exposure. The weak had survived abiding a forest, living off the land and scavenging what little food he could find. Harsh winter weather combined with the constant threat and discovery made every day a battle for survival. Eventually, as the world drew to close of Nazi control continued to crumble, managed to evade recapture and find safety. After war ended, Howe found himself displaced person camp when hardship helped arrive in the United States 1946. He was determined to rebuild his life after surviving the horrors of the Holocaust. Adopting a new name, Harry Hope, he settled in Brooklyn, New York, with a joint community of Jewish immigrants. His body bore the scar and brutal labor and forced boxing matches, while his mind wrestled in the memories of the extradition and Joel. To support himself, Hop turned to the one skill that had kept them alive in Auschwitz, boxing. In the ring, he saw a chance not only to earn a living but also channel his trauma into something tangible. The boxing world of post-war America was tough and often unforgiving, but Hop's raw strength, honed through years of fighting for survival, made him a formidable contender. He quickly earned a reputation as a determination and fierce fighter, one who never backed down from a challenge. Known as the Jewish boxer, had endured the professional boxing circuit, competing in 21 matches over the next few years. His most notable bout came in July 1994, when he faced the legendary undefeated heavyweight champion Lucky Marciano in Providence, Rhode Island. The fight was a major event. While Haupt entered the ring as an underdog, he approached the match with the same grit and determination had defined his career. Marciano, known for a relentless style and powerful punches, proved a too formidable opponent. Marciano overwhelmed Haupt, winning the fight by a knockout in the third round. The loss was the turning point for Haupt, both professionally and personally. where the ended of the race of ascending to top ranks of boxing. It also marked the beginning of the transitional way the sport. After retired in professional boxing shortly after his fight with Marciano, finding it increasingly difficult to separate her career from the traumatic memories that evoked, half the boy speaking about his time Auschwitz, shielding his family from the darkest chapters of his life. It wasn't until much later in his life that Haupten began to open up about his experience. His son, Alan Scott Haupt, documented his father's incredible story in the book Harry Hop's Survivor of Auschwitz, Challenger of Lucky Marciano from 2006, which brought Harry's story a broader audience. Harry Hop, the boxer from Auschwitz, died on November 3rd, 2007. Thanks for listening.